And we're back. Incredible Hoax. I am Chris.
I am Mark.
Let's get to it, shall we?
Let's do it.
Presidential run 2016. Trump is the presumptive nominee in the Republican Party.
Mm-hmm.
It's leaning towards Hillary, but I think there's still a chance it could be the old burn.
I say we call it for Hillary.
For the sake of this show, we're
For the
calling
sake
it
of
for
this
Hillary.
show, let's just move on with that.
All right.
Because she's got those super delegates, I think the fix is in.
Yeah, it's totally rigged. If you support Bernie out there, you have every right to be pissed. I support you being mad right now. All right, so here's the deal. Cruz, I thought was I like Cruz. He's a weird cat, but all in all, I like him. Most of my disagreements with him are more personality based, not policy based. How do you feel about the dynamic now between Cruz and Trump?
Well, those two groups, I would say they have a common goal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, start with both running the Republican parties, you got that, and both at least lean to the right. So I think
Right.
eventually those two parties will come around. When you have a race that got that nasty, it's going to take time for certain parties to kind of go away, kind of convalesce,
Yeah.
kind of let things air out a little bit, then come back. You know, it's just like when you're mad at somebody, like a relative. You know, you might go out down the block, take a walk, you cool off, you come back, and then you can work things out. So,
Well, I
there's
used
a cool off period.
in our private conversation. I used a sports analogy. We played basketball, and I elbowed you in the face.
Yeah.
And as soon as that game is over, like that was part of the game. I elbowed you in the face. That was not that wasn't personal. I elbowed you in the face. We were playing a game.
Yeah.
So I view it that way. So when he called him Lion Ted, and when Ted's like, this guy's soulless and does not represent the values of America,
Yeah.
that to me is part of the elbows during a basketball game.
Well, it got nasty. I mean, at one point you got one group saying, that's Gestapo tactics. And then you got the other side going, y'all are amoral. I mean, you're just like, oh boy. So
Immoral. Yeah.
It got really, it got heated. And
I think the
nasty.
Trump current camp will be easier for them to be accepting of the Cruz people than it will be for the Cruz people to accept the Trump people. I think that's a given. Now, but you also have the fringy Glenn Beck type supporters, and you'll never win them. They're kooks anyway.
Yeah. You almost wonder, that is, I guess, the question. Which is easier, being the gracious winner or being a sore loser? You know, you hope,
Yeah.
you're
I
like,
think-
hey, what's going on there?
I think Trump sees it as a game, and he will be very inviting of Cruz and his supporters into what he's doing. I think Cruz is a gracious loser, but I think there are some principles that are kind of hard for him to overlook. Because if he was to accept some of the things of Trump, then it would be contradictory to some core principles he's laid out there. So, I don't know. You can be a gracious loser, but still stand on some principle. I don't know. It's a fine line. There's a lot of dynamics going on here.
Well, to move the conversation to get extended, what do you think was the deciding blow that gave Trump the victory?
Colorado. We talked about that off air in private. We both agree. When Colorado happened and Trump played on the idea that Cruz stole delegates and won shadily, and that there was some sort of an element of voters not having their say, whether or not, I mean, Cruz did play by the rules. Cruz followed the rules, but even explaining that he followed the rules sort of made it was like a pit, and it made it even worse because then people were like, well, the rules are shady. So, like, you won shady. Now, what are the rules? That just proves it's shady.
Yeah.
So it was like he could not win. He was screwed. He was screwed at that moment.
Yeah, Trump was able to be the beneficiary of really painting the picture of a guy in Cruz who was in the part of the establishment and was taking full advantage of all this delicate behind the scenes stuff, which was perfectly legal and within the rules. However, it seemed like the more you explained it, the more it seemed like to help the voters were like,
Yeah.
well, wait a minute, whoa. Is this what we're going to expect when we get to convention?
Yeah.
And I think it just snowballed with voters, some voters, where I think it became more of, we don't want this to go to convention. We want this over with. And they saw what happened in Colorado, and they're like, wait a minute, a voterless election? What is that about? And
to put it bluntly, since 2000, maybe even with Perot, with the first Clinton term, there's been a sense of helplessness, definitely since 2000, amongst the voters. You know, the Gore supporters felt like they got hosed. And then, Clinton won 2 elections without the majority vote.
right.
Majority, I mean, he didn't have over 50%. Both times.
But he won the Electoral College.
Won the Electoral College and
that's
won.
how we elect presidents.
And Bush didn't win the popular, but won the presidency through the Electoral College and the whole
Same
Florida thing.
He got the Electoral College.
And then you had, I think, was it Romney and McCain won more states, but lost the popular in the Electoral College, but actually had more states. Isn't that correct?
Well, I think that was certainly, I think that was true. At least
Something
one of those.
like that. I could be wrong.
I think in one of those that was true.
So you had damn near a generation here of people who feel like the system's fixed, and Trump played on that like a maestro to his advantage.
Yeah. I heard him in one interview, I believe it was April 19th, where he was admitting that it's like, hey, I had to be nasty to win. Now, going forward that's the question. Are people going to be able to accept that and like, okay, now he's trying to be more gracious and at least the term presidential. We'll see.
I think with Clinton, with Hillary, I think we ain't seen nothing yet. I think this is almost like Rocky versus Apollo.
Well,
This is Batman versus Superman. We're about to see. And by the way, speaking of Hillary Clinton versus Donald Trump, I'll let you know right now, I'm supporting Trump wholeheartedly. I don't want Hillary to win nothing. I don't want Hillary to win anything. I don't want her to win a $20 raffle. So there, I've been clear on that.
So you don't want her on the $20 bill?
No, Lord no. I gave her $20 out of my own pocket if she just goes home. Think she'll take that deal? Just go home. Just walk away. Just run away.
She's gonna
just walk away.
She's gonna go full road warrior, right?
I'm gonna go full road warrior. Just walk away. This $20 will be yours. I would do that out of my own pocket tonight. $20, Hillary. Take a hike. So what are your feelings on who you support now?
Next week, libertarians.